and then we want to attach the motor mount to the deck. So we're now getting close to having a real airplane here, which is kind of exciting. All right, so the basic trick here is we're going to do, just going to eyeball this, because that's the best way to do it, I think. I will measure the middle. Don't even bother. So what I want to do is just sort of place this so it looks like the prop's in the center. Everything else is in the center. Looks about the same on either side. Just a couple of fingers. I want to go about as far back as I can. So generally the motor mount is flush with the beginning of the deck, of the prop cut out, and I want this nice and square. It can be a little off, doesn't matter. That's just kind of how I prefer to do it. All right, and then I'm going to punch some holes through. These are going to be bigger. I'm going to use big zip ties for this, and do all 4 of them. Okay, and we get the big zip ties. I prefer to put the blocky bits at the front, just because they're less in the way, because I like to put the receiver right back here, because it's nice and protected. Alright, it's going to go there, and the other side. There we go. One of them. Be kind of a pain to get that around, but just keep working it. It's close to that angle, so you can do that the other way around. Not do any damage. Alright, there we go. Okay. Alrighty, and one more. I like using the big zip ties for these because it just tends to be, they hold up a little better. And the motor mount takes a lot of energy and crashes. Notice I'm using a bigger screwdriver to make these holes. There we go. Okay. Not very good. All right, so there it is, all zip tied up and ready to go. And we now want to, so we're good and centered, so that's what it looks like. Sorry. Nice and centered in there. Lots of place for things to move. That's there. And so on and so forth. All right, so now we are going to go ahead and start putting this thing together. So we're going to grab our receiver, which is here. And the left channel traditionally, from the front, so this is the orientation. This is the front of the aircraft, this is the back of the aircraft. The right servo is traditionally channel 1. So we're going to do that. On these high techs, the ground is down here, this row of pins here across the board. Do they actually indicate this any place usefully? No, of course they don't. All right, so that's there. The left servo will be channel 2. Okay, and then we're going to bring over our speed control. So the nice thing about this is running the whole show. This powers, using this lead here, it simultaneously functions as the throttle channel, which tells us how much energy we're going to put into the prop, and then also it powers the whole receiver. So it kind of does 2 things at the same time, which is kind of cool. All right, and then the other thing we want to do is hook these up, 3 of them. Just do them in any order, doesn't matter. They will, if it spins the wrong way, you just reverse any 2. And then you'll have it spinning the right way, but you don't know until you start. Okay? And all right, so we have this, we have this, we have this. Okay, important rule when working with electric motors in particular, notice that the throttle is all the way up. I always want to, there's sort of a good pre-flight checklist. Before you turn transmitter on, make sure the throttle is down, turn it on. You always have the transmitter on first, and off last. You always want signal to be in the environment of this receiver. And then we're going to connect the speed controller. We're going to check polarity on everything. Yep, these are all signal up here up high and ground down below. That looks good. This looks right. This is, we have red going to, looks like it's wrong, but connector won't let you do that. So now we have red going to red and black going to black. That's good. And we're going to join them and see if we have an airplane or not. And we have it. There we go. That's a beep. That's a happy sounding speed controller. See the servos move. Okay. That's right. Good. Now notice right now what's going on is only one servo is moving when I give. So this is an up command and only one servo moves, which means that I have to turn on mixing for this radio. And the way you do that is I'm going to unplug everything again. All right. I'm going to turn the transmitter off just because I'm being paranoid. Generally, some electronics do not like being reconfigured when they're on. And in here, there's a little switch up at the top that says LVON mixing. So you hit that switch, just pop it over using a screwdriver, and then we will have LVON mixing working for us. So we'll hook it back up. Almost forgot. Throttle down, power on, connect everything up. Okay. So that one, my right servo is moving on, commanded up, and my left servo is moving. Okay. I don't know if they're moving in the right direction. I'll figure that out later. But what I want to do right now is center my servos. So the way you do that on this transmitter, listen, is it gives a different tone when it's in the center. These are digital trims. So you hear that little, so I went too far, so we go 2, 3, 4, 5. That's center, all right, when you hear that long beep. So let's try it here too. Okay, that's to the limit. I'm going down now. There it is, that's the center. I'm going up and down around it. Okay, so we have centered servos now. There you have it. The instructions for how to link it, if it doesn't come up already linked, are in the manual. So do read that manual and pay attention to what's going on there. All right, so we have basically a functioning airplane right now. Let's make sure the motor is turning. So be very careful right now. Hold on to everything. Make sure nothing's going to get dragged into the prop. I just want to see if the motor will spin at all. Be careful. This thing is sharp, and I'm going to just move it a little bit. It is going the wrong direction. So it is moving in a. It is moving counterclockwise as I look at it from the rear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse any two. So I'm going to unplug this first. Reverse two of these. 1, 2. That goes there. That's going to go there. I actually managed to reverse them. I don't know. We'll find out in a second. All right. All right. And then, oh yeah, that's a much happier airplane. You can even hear it. It just sort of sounds better. And this is it. Okay, that's great. So that's a working airplane. We have the basics of what we want. All right, I'm going to unplug everything right now and go to the next step, which is we're going to start mounting this gear. Okay. Well, we have all this annoying, long, skinny zip ties, so let's get rid of them. Be very careful when you're cutting these zip ties. You don't end up cutting a servo wire or an antenna lead or something like that. So be careful about this. Many people cut something that you shouldn't be cutting when they're just sort of whipping away at it. They see something that's long and scraggly looking and they go, oh yeah, I want to cut that. That ends in tears. There we go. There. And there. And here. A little harder to get at. Let's get in there. I almost cut that. Be careful. There. Okay. A couple more over here. All right. So these little zip tie parts we're going to toss. No use for them anymore. exciting, folks. Getting close to airplaneness. So now the name of the game is get all this stuff secured. So where I like to put the receiver typically is in the middle. It's a good place to start. Just put a band across right there. You don't need a whole lot of